It had been at least a week since Angel Dust added the newest addition to the Hazbin Hotel. Things had been a whirlwind ever since. From the moment Charlie agreed to let him keep the baby, Angel's life had been a non-stop cycle of chaos. Between shopping for baby supplies, trying to keep the baby calm, and juggling his usual work and social life, busy didn't even begin to describe it. Angel barely had time to catch his breath. One day he was out buying formula, diapers, and baby clothes, things he'd never imagined he'd be spending his hard-earned cash on. And the next, he was trying to figure out how to stop a meltdown in the middle of the night. Turns out, babies didn't care about getting beauty sleep, and neither, it seemed, did Angel Dust anymore. The hotel had been far from baby-proof, so he had to make some adjustments. He cleared out a corner of his room, shoving aside his vanity and clothes to make space for a crib and whatever else the kid needed. And then there was the baby itself. Tiny, loud, and endlessly demanding. Keeping the kid happy was like a full-time job in itself. If the baby wasn't crying, they were squirming. And if they weren't squirming, they were making messes that Angel had to clean up. Work had been a whole other problem. Balancing his usual gigs with taking care of the baby left him stretched thin. Wherever he could, he pawned off babysitting duties to anyone at the hotel who was willing. Husk, Nifty, even Allister when he was in the mood. But most of the time, the kid was stuck with Angel, whether he was ready for it or not. Today was no different. Angel Dust was pacing around the lobby, cradling the baby in his arms as if life depended on it, which at this point, it sort of did. The baby, swaddled in a blanket that was far too clean for the Hazbin Hotel, squirmed, letting out a tiny, high-pitched whine. Angel's nerves were shot.
Shh, it's okay. Shh, it's okay.
Angel cooed softly, rocking the baby in his arms as they squirmed and cried. His voice took on a desperate edge as he tried to soothe the wailing infant.
It's all okay. I promise. Come on, sweetie, please calm down for Daddy.
He groaned, exhaustion seeping into his bones as he bounced the baby a little faster, pleading with a tiny tot.
Please, just give me a break here. I can understand why you're crying in the first place. I changed you, bathed you, played with you. I don't know what else you might want.
He replied in a panic as he continued to soothe the baby. Angel's eyes darted frantically around the lobby, desperate for something, anything to help calm the baby. But the wails only grew louder, echoing through the hotel like a siren. He groaned, rubbing his temple with one of his free hands, his patience wearing thin.
Please, little one. I'll do whatever you want. Just stop crying.
Angel pleaded, his voice cracking under the weight of the exhaustion. He reached for the nearest toy, a brightly colored rattle, and shook it gently in front of the baby's face. The rhythmic clatter only seemed to irritate him more, their tiny fists clenching as the cries escalated. Angel tossed the rattle aside with a sigh.
Okay. No rattles. Got it.
Next, he fished a pacifier out of his pocket and quickly popped it in the baby's mouth, praying it would work. For a brief second, the baby paused, eyes wide as they sucked on the rubber. Relief washed over Angel, until the pacifier was spat out with a defiant cry. Angel groaned again, running a hand through his hair, now frazzled and messy.
No? Alright. You're picky, huh? What about this?
He grabbed a soft stuffed bunny from the pile of toys he gathered over the week and held it up, wiggling his floppy ears in front of the baby.
Look, it's got big old ears. Cute, right?
The baby glanced at the toy for a split second before resuming their fit, tears rolling down their flushed cheeks, and Angel let out a frustrated huff, the stuffed bunny joining the pile of failed distractions on the floor. Running out of ideas, Angel tried humming a lullaby, a tune he barely remembered from his own childhood, soft and slow. His voice cracked slightly as he swayed back and forth, gently patting the baby's back.
You okay? Kiddo, I got you.
Angel whispered, his tone as soothing as he could make it.
Daddy's right here.
Shh. The baby's cries softened a little, but they still whimpered against his chest. The tiny hands gripping his shirt, Angel closed his eyes, his arms aching from the constant rocking, but he kept humming, willing the baby to find some comfort in his voice. After a few moments of swaying and soft humming, the baby finally calmed down, their tiny cries fading into soft breaths as they drifted off to sleep. Angel carefully peered down at the peaceful bundle in his arms, holding his breath. Once he was sure the little top was completely out, he gingerly placed them into the nearby playpen, making sure they were snug and secure. He stood there for a moment, watching the baby's chest rise and fall, before letting out a deep sigh of relief. Exhaustion weighed heavily on his shoulders as he dragged himself over to the nearby couch, practically collapsing onto it. The much-needed silence felt like a blessing wrapping around him like a warm blanket.
Yo.
Angel groaned, throwing an arm over his eyes.
Thank Lucifer I managed to get them to stop crying.
He paused, breathing in the quiet.
I knew this parenting thing wasn't gonna be a piece of cake, but I didn't sign up for parenting hell either.
He sat up slightly, rubbing the back of his neck.
I was kinda expecting things to be a bit easier. I mean, the day I found him, the little monster didn't seem so bad.
He sighed, sinking deep into the cushions.
And now it feels like all they want to do is cry.
He grumbled, casting a glance over at the sleeping baby. His irritation softened as he stood up and walked back to the playpen, his long fingers gently cupping the baby's tiny face. He smiled, his thumb brushing lightly across their cheek.
No, I can't say that. They're just a baby. They don't know no better yet.
His voice softened as he continued, speaking to himself.
Besides, getting settled into a new place surrounded by a bunch of people you don't even know, that's gotta be scary. Been a big change for all of us. I guess I shouldn't have expected it to be smooth sailing the second they got here.
He glanced at the clock on his phone.
Well, no going back to sleep now.
He muttered, noticing the time, 10 a.m. already.
By the time the little monster wakes up, they're gonna need something else. Again.
He complained, placing a hand over his tired face.
And I gotta give him a name, too. Can't just keep calling them nicknames forever.
Angel sighed again, wiping his exhausted, disheveled hair with one of his hands. He pulled out his phone, opening the notes app to add to his ever-growing to-do list.
Better add that to the list of things I'm gonna do today.
But then he paused, sinking back onto the couch.
But first, I need a minute.
He threw his head back, letting his body go limp.
I've been going strong with no breaks for... Hell, I don't even know how many days. I deserve a quick break, I think. Besides, they ain't going nowhere. They're safe in the playpen.
Angel let out a quiet yawn as his eyes fluttered shut, the weight of exhaustion finally pulling him under.
I can afford to rest my eyes for a few minutes,
He mumbled, his voice trailing off as he sank deeper into the couch. The silence that settled around him was a rare gift, one he fully embraced as sleep quickly overtook him. 3 hours later, the peaceful silence was broken by a gentle shake on his shoulder. Angel, a low voice whispered. Angel responded with a soft whine, his body instinctively curling tighter into a ball as he turned to his side, the side of his head sinking comfortably into the couch cushion. He groaned, his body fighting the pull of wakefulness. Husk sighed, watching the spider demon cling stubbornly to sleep. He gave Angel another shake, this time with a little more force, his voice a bit firmer. Angel, wake up! Still, Angel refused to budge. Instead, he let out a muffled moan, burying his face deeper into the cushions.
Oh, go away. Let me sleep. I'm exhausted.
Husk rolled his eyes, crossing his arms over his chest as he stared down at the sleeping figure. This is ridiculous, he muttered under his breath. But Husk, determined to wake him, tapped his paws thoughtfully against his chin. A sly grin slowly spread across his face as the idea struck him. Alright, Angel, Husk called out, a mischievous glint in his eyes. If you don't wake up in the next 10 seconds, I'm gonna shave off your hair and fluff. Angel's eyes shot open immediately, his previously sleepy expression replaced by a fiery glare. In one swift motion, he grabbed Husk by his chest fluff, lifting him off the ground until they were eye to eye.
Don't you ever, and I mean ever, even think about cutting my hair or fur.
Angel hissed, his eyes glowing a fierce pink, radiating anger.
Do that, and I swear I'll end your whiskers.
But Husk remained calm, completely unfazed by the spider demon's threats. His expression was as nonchalant as ever, one brow raised as he gazed back at Angel. Relax, Legs, Husk said coolly, brushing off Angel's grip as if it was nothing. I wasn't really gonna do it. I just needed to wake you up. You were passed out. Angel blinked, his grip loosening as he set Husk back down.
Oh?
He paused, rubbing his eyes groggily before stretching out his arms.
Well, why didn't you just shake me awake or something?
I did try, Husk replied with a shrug. But like I said, you were knocked out cold. Angel stretched once more, rubbing the last bit of sleep from his eyes.
Guess I was more tired than I thought.
He muttered, glancing at the clock, realizing just how much time had passed. Angel shot upright, his eyes wide with sudden panic.
Wait, you said I was knocked out.
Husk tilted his head, looking at him curiously. Yeah?
Shit!
Angel cursed under his breath, scrambling off the couch.
How long was I asleep? What time is it?
Husk raised a brow, watching Angel's sudden frenzy. It's been 3 hours. It's 1 p.m. Why? But Angel didn't answer. His heart pounded as he bolted across the room, sprinting towards the playpen.
Please be okay. Please be okay. Please be okay.
He repeated under his breath like a mantra, his voice rising with each word. But when he reached the playpen, his heart dropped. It was empty. The baby was gone. Angel's breath hitched in his throat, his mind racing. Panic surged through his veins as his eyes darted around the room, searching every corner, every shadow.
No. Where are they? Where are they?
His hand gripped the edges of the playpen as if willing to somewhat reveal the baby's location. His pulse raced, his thoughts becoming a jumbled mess. What if something happened? What if they crawled off somewhere? What if he'd lost him? He felt his legs weaken and his hands trembled as he frantically searched the room with his gaze.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Where are they?
Angel's breath came in shallow bursts, his chest tightening as the fear built up inside him. He could feel the familiar prick of tears welling up as his eyes spun around, scanning the room with mounting desperation. Angel's heart raced as his eyes darted wildly around the empty playpen. The toys were scattered haphazardly, but the baby was gone. The sheer realization of it sent a cold wave of panic crashing over him.
Where the hell are they? Where?
Angel gasped, his voice rising in pitch, his hands gripping the playpen edges so tightly his knuckles turned white. Angel. A calm voice broke through the rising chaos in Angel's head, but it barely registered. Angel was already pacing, his legs feeling like jelly beneath him.
No, this can't be happening. I fell asleep for 3 hours. What if something happened? What if they caught off somewhere? What if...
Angel's breath quickened, his words coming out rapid fire as he panicked. His panic turned into a frantic energy. Husk sighed, his expression unfazed but concerned. Angel relaxed. I'm sure the kid hasn't gone far. They're probably around here somewhere. I can help you look. Angel whipped around, eyes wide with urgency.
No!
He snapped, his voice sharp with the edge of fear. Husk raised an eyebrow, surprised when Angel refused his help. But we will find them faster if we...
No, this is my responsibility. I'm the one who found them. I'm the one who's supposed to take care of them. I've got to do this on my own.
Husk let out a small sigh, crossing his arms. Alright, Lex, if you're sure. But if you don't find them soon, don't be too proud to ask for help, okay? Angel didn't respond. His mind was already consumed by the whirlwind of thoughts racing through his head as he bolted down the hall, his heart hammering into his chest. He had to find them. He had to. The first place Angel checked was the hotel's kitchen, his usual spot for getting snacks for himself or the baby. As soon as he burst through the doorway, his foot slipped slightly on something wet. Milk. Angel yelped as his foot slipped out from under him.
Ah! Oh, fuck!
He screamed, crashing to the floor with a painful thud. He groaned, rubbing his spine wound with his four hands, his face twisted in frustration.
Fuck. What the hell did I just slip on?
He lifted one of his other hands, only to find it coated in a slick white liquid substance. His eyes narrowed as he inspected the mess.
Great. Just frickin' great.
He muttered, his irritation growing. A near quarter-full bottle of formula lay spilled on the floor, its contents dripping down the side of the counter, followed by open jars of baby food. Angel's eyes widened, his pulse quickening even more.
They were here!
He muttered, quickly scanning the room. His frantic gaze passed over the countertops, the open fridge door, and the few random kitchen items in pulled shelves. But there was no baby, only the telltale sign of where they had been.
Damn it.
Angel growled, wiping the milk off his hand before bolting out the kitchen, the mess only adding to the stress. Next, Angel ran up the stairs, where he was immediately greeted by more chaos. A trail of small blankets and cloths led from the bottom of the stairs to the top of the stairs like a path of destruction. One of its expensive silk scarves, his favorite one, was somehow tied around the railing of the stairs, twisted and pulled like a makeshift rope.
What the hell?
Angel stared at the mess, bewildered. His frustration mounted as he hurriedly kicked aside the strewn blankets, his eyes scanning every corner, every nook, and where the baby could have crawled.
Where are you?
The staircase, too, was empty. The next stop was his own bedroom. As Angel shoved open the door, he was immediately hit with a sense of dread. His only pristine vanity was now cluttered with items knocked over, his makeup scattered all across the floor. Lipstick tubes, powder compacts, and mascara wands were strewn about, as if the baby had gotten into everything. Angel hissed in frustration.
For Lucifer's sake, this is gonna take hours to clean up!
Angel knelt down, running a hand through his disheveled hair as he stared at the mess, frustration bubbling up inside of him.
They've been everywhere, but I still can't find them.
He muttered under his breath, the sense of helplessness creeping in. His hands trembled slightly as he picked up a small powder compact from the floor, putting it back on the vanity with a shaky sigh. He stood up, his legs feeling weak beneath him. He looked around the room one more time, every corner feeling it was mocking him with its emptiness.
This is a nightmare.
he whispered, rubbing his face with both hands as he fought back against the rising tide of panic. After another quick search, Angel headed down the hallway towards the ballroom, his heart pounding louder and louder with each step, the silence only amplifying the dread in his chest. As he reached the ballroom, his eyes scanned the area. Chairs and tables were tossed onto the floor and the drapes hung crooked as they'd been tugged down, but no baby. The wall seemed to close in on him as Angel pressed forward, calling out in vain.
Come on, sweetheart. Where are you?
His voice cracked as he tried to steady his breathing, but a mounting frustration and fear had him on edge. After many failed attempts later, his legs felt heavier, his chest more frantic as he searched the rest of the hotel.
I can't believe this. How could I let this happen? They never ran off like this before. This is all my fault. I'm the worst daddy ever. I can't even keep track of them for a few hours.
Angel whispered to himself, his voice laced with self-doubt as the weight of responsibility settled onto his shoulders. Every room he searched revealed more signs of chaos. Small messes here and there, signs that the baby had crawled through, leaving a trail of disarray behind. Yet, the baby was nowhere to be found. Finally, Angel stood in the lobby once more, breathless and defeated. His hands trembled as they gripped his hair, his eyes wide with panic and exhaustion.
This is impossible. Where could they be?
The silence around him felt crushing. For a moment, Angel feared the worst. The messes were scattered all around him like the remnants of a storm, each one a reminder of how quickly things had spiraled out of control.
My poor baby! My poor baby.
Angel whimpered shakily, pacing again, his heart pounding in his chest.
I'll never forgive myself if something happened to him.
Angel's knees buckled, sending him collapsing to the floor. His body shook as a wave of emotion hit him hard. Tears welled up in his eyes, blurring his vision, and his lip quivered as he tried to keep it together. But before he could stop himself, hot tears streamed down his face. Angel sat there, shoulders trembling, sobbing uncontrollably as the weight of it all came crashing down on him. The frustration, the exhaustion, the fear of failing, it all poured out in that moment, leaving him feeling helpless and overwhelmed. Husk was tending to his bar when he heard the sound of Angel's muffled sobs. A look of pity crossed his face and his ears drooped slightly. Setting down the glass he'd been polishing, he walked away from the bar and approached Angel quietly. He placed a gentle paw on the Angel's shoulder, his usual gruff tone softened by concern.
Hey, Lex. You alright?
Husk asked, his voice carrying an edge of genuine worry. Angel looked up, his face streaked with tears.
No, I can't find them anywhere, Husk.
He cried, his voice cracking.
I've checked the entire hotel. The only thing I keep finding are the messes they left behind. I'm a terrible father. Nothing is turning out the way I wanted it to.
Husk's expression remained calm as he listened.
What do you mean?
He asked, trying to understand the root of the Angel's distress. Angel took a shuddering breath, trying to steady his voice.
This past week has been a disaster,
He said, his eyes reflecting the exhaustion he felt.
I thought I could handle being a full-time parent because I did okay babysitting. But it's so different when you're responsible all the time. I've been running around buying supplies, trying to balance work and dealing with endless crying. I thought I was prepared, but I'm just not.
He looked around at the chaotic mess scattering through the hotel.
I thought if I could manage a few hours, I can handle it any time. But now, everything feels like a disaster. The baby's been crying, making messes, and I'm constantly worried I'm failing them.
Husk nodded, his eyes sympathetic.
Listen, Anthony. You're learning. It's tough, and you're going to make mistakes. That's part of the process. Just because things aren't going perfectly doesn't mean you're a bad parent. Although, if you would have let me help you sooner, you might be less frustrated right now.
Angel looked at Husk, a flicker of doubt still in his eyes.
But I'm supposed to do this on my own.
Husk's gaze softened, his voice firm but kind.
That's what friends are for. You don't have to go through this alone. Just because you need help doesn't mean you're failing. We're here for you, and it's okay to ask for support when you need it.
Angel's shoulders slumped slightly as he absorbed Husk's words.
I guess I didn't think about it like that.
Husk gave a reassuring nod.
Nobody expects you to have it all figured out from the start. It's a learning process. Ask for help when you need it, and remember that doesn't make you any less of a parent. You're doing your best, and that's what matters.
Angel took a deep breath, feeling a small measure of relief amidst the chaos. Angel wiped his eyes and looked at Husk, a faint smile on his lips.
Thanks, Husky. I needed to hear that.
Husk gave a reassuring nod.
Anytime, Lex. Now quit your crying, will you?
he said, gently rubbing his thumb across Angel's damp cheek to wipe away the remaining tears.
That's not like the angel dust I know.
Angel chuckled slightly, feeling his cheeks flush at Husk's unexpected kindness.
You're right, Whiskers.
Angel said, taking a deep breath.
Crying would help me find them. But I looked everywhere I possibly could. I couldn't have gone outside. The little gremlin can't even walk yet, let alone reach the door. But I still don't know where else to...
He drawled off, his mind catching on the advice Husk had given him moments ago. Angel hesitated before speaking up.
Husk?
Husk tilted his head slightly.
Yeah, legs.
Angel shuffled to his feet, a hint of embarrassment in his voice.
You, wouldn't happen to have any tips and tricks for baby care, would you? Especially for those who like to run off and play hide and seek?
Husk's eyes softened as he let out a low chuckle. A smile warm and genuine. He stood up, dusted himself off, and extended a paw towards Angel.
I might know a trick or two.
Angel smiled warmly as he gently took Husk's paw, using it to pull himself up.
You're my hero, Husky.
He said with a genuine gratitude.
Where do we start?
Husk's expression softened with a hint of amusement.
In my experience, little ones are curious and like to keep busy.
He explained.
Yeah, I've noticed.
Angel replied, glancing around the chaotic hotel lobby.
The whole place is turned into their personal playground.
Husk nodded.
Little ones also like to hide in small places, so think like a baby or small child. If you were this size, where would you play and hide?
Angel tapped his chin thoughtfully, considering Husk's advice. After a moment, a realization dawned on him. They began their search by checking various small and cozy spots around the hotel. First, they looked behind the curtains and under the furniture. Then, Angel checked the small storage closets and even the laundry room. Found nothing. Finally, Husk led Angel to the hotel staff lounge, a room often used for breaks and storage. The door creaked open, revealing a mess of discarded toys and scattered blankets. In the corner amid the chaos was the baby, happily playing with Fat Nuggets, Angel's beloved pet pig. The baby was surrounded by 40 pillows and blankets. Their little face lit up with joy as they tried to grab at Fat Nugget's curly tail. Angel's heart leaped with relief as he saw the baby safe and sound. He let out a shaky laugh, kneeling beside him.
There you are, you little rascal. You gave Daddy quite a scare.
He said, gently picking up the baby and hugging and nuzzling him close.
Well, it looks like my little Luckies have been babysitting you all this time.
Angel smiled happily, scratching the pig behind the ears.
Were you two safe and having fun?
Fat Nuggets oinked happily in response as he jumped and danced around Angel's legs. The baby cheered and giggled happily to see his dad again. Husk watched with a smile, giving Angel a supportive pat on the back.
See? Sometimes you just want to explore and play. You're doing great, Angel. Just keep an eye out for those little hiding spots.
Angel nodded, still holding the baby close, feeling a surge of gratitude for Husk's help.
Thanks, Husk. I really owe you one. I guess I still got a lot to learn about being a parent.
Husk grinned, his eyes twinkling.
Hey, no problem. It's all part of the journey. And remember, you got friends who will help you along the way.
As Angel settled the baby back into the play area, he felt a renewed sense of confidence and hope, ready to face the challenges of parenthood with a little more guidance and a lot more support. Angel shifted nervously, his fingers tapping together as he looked at Husk with a sheepish grin.
Well, if you don't mind, I could use a little bit more help. I mean, if that's okay with you.
Husk raised an eyebrow, leaning against the bar with his usual casual demeanor.
I'm all ears, legs. Just tell me what you need.
Angel exhaled a sigh of relief, his shoulders slumping.
I've been up since about 8 a.m. Between the crying, the wild goose chase around the hotel, the messes, and the exhaustion, I could really use an extra set of hands.
Husk chuckled, a smirk tugging at the corner of his lips.
Help with the baby and clean the hotel before everyone comes back, huh? Sure, why not? Sounds like fun.
He teased with a wink. Angel gave Husk a grateful look before rolling up his sleeves.
You're a lifesaver, Husky. I seriously don't think I'd make it on my own.
With a quick nod, they got to work. The first stop was the lobby. The place looked like a miniature tornado had swept through, courtesy of the baby. Toys were scattered everywhere, stuffed animals thrown across the floor, blocks stacked haphazardly on every surface, and an overturned sippy cup still leaking milk onto the carpet. Angel groaned.
For Lucifer's sake, it's like they're planning world domination. One mess at a time.
Husk shook his head, smirking as he picked up the stuffed bear.
I'm starting to think this kid's got some serious strategy. Look at this mess. They got every corner covered.
Fat Nuggets, Angel's beloved pig, trotted into the room, snuffling curiously at the I'll leave it in this end. Snuffling curiously at the chaos. The little pig nudged one of the blocks, giving a tiny snore as if in agreement. Angel chuckled, patting the pig on the head.
Hey, Nuggets, you want to help clean up too?
The pig squealed happily and nudged the stuffed bunny closer to the toy chest. Husk gave a low laugh.
Even the pig's helping out. You got a whole team here, Legs.
Angel shot Husk a playful glare.
Yeah, Whiskers, keep talking. I've got 3 hands free if you need a real challenge.
He teased, gesturing to his extra arms. Together they gathered the toys, occasionally bumping into each other. At one point, Angel accidentally brushed up against Husk, sending a jolt through him. He glanced up, cheeks flushing slightly, but Husk didn't seem to notice, too focused on wrangling the pile of blocks into place. Next up was the kitchen, as the baby had somehow managed to get into the fridge. Milk and baby food was spilled everywhere, sticking to the counters and creating a trail of spilled milk everywhere across the floor. The culprit, a bottle of milk that had been squeezed and flung across the room. Angel groaned, staring at the mess in horror.
Are they trying to make me lose my mind? This is gonna take forever.
He replied, holding his nose. Husk secured the baby in a bouncer, watching as the little one giggled and bounced happily. He snorted, amused.
Relax, Legs.
Husk said with a chuckle.
It's just a little milk. I'll grab the mop. You handle the countertops.
Angel wiping down the counter, scrumpling under his breath.
You call this a little mess? We're gonna be finding milk in the cracks for days.
Husk finished with the mop, laughing softly.
Don't be so dramatic. The little guy probably just got hungry.
He paused for a moment before asking,
Vicki Lowe, have you thought of a name yet?
Angel, scrubbing the dishes, glanced over.
I've been trying, but nothing's stuck yet. Got any ideas, Husky?
Husk leaned against the counter, putting the clean dishes away.
How about Angel Dust Jr.? Little Legs, or maybe Anthony Jr.?
Angel snorted, shaking his head.
Very funny, but no. It just sounds like I'm yelling at myself all the time. Besides, imagine saying, come here, little legs. Like, come here, little legs. It's just weird.
Husk burst out laughing, the sound echoing through the kitchen.
That is funny when you put it that way. Though, to be fair, you do get yelled at a lot.
Angel rolled his eyes and turned to the baby with an exaggerated pout.
You see how Whisker treats me, little guy? So disrespectful, right?
Husk grinned, wagging a finger playfully.
Hey, don't go turning the kid against me.
The kitchen filled with laughter as they finished the cleaning up. The warmth and humor between them lifting the mood. Next, they tackled the grand staircase. Somehow, the baby had gotten a hold of a trail of Angel's scarves, clothes, and various blankets and left it unspooled all the way from the second floor down to the lobby. It cascaded like a sad makeshift banner and rope of destruction. Angel stood at the base of the stairs, hands on his hips, staring up at the absurd sight.
Of course they had to go and redecorate the place, huh? It's like they're preparing for some kind of weird party or climbing adventure.
Husk smirked, leaning on the railing with the baby still tucked securely in his arms.
Look, someone's got a future in interior design or mountain climbing.
Angel started gathering up the scarves, cloths, and blankets, sighing as he did.
And by design, you mean turning this hotel into a war zone again? Hell, totally unnatural.
As Angel worked, Husk plopped the baby down on the bottom step, letting the baby play with a rattle. The little one gurgled in delight, shaking the toy with an infectious energy. Angel couldn't help but glance over now and then, smiling to himself despite the chaos. Husk caught Angel's gaze, and for a brief moment, their eyes met, a quiet understanding passing between them.
You're a good dad, Angel.
Husk said suddenly, surprising the spider demon. Angel stopped mid-cleaning, blinking.
You think so?
Husk shrugged. You care. There's more than most around here can say.
Angel's cheeks flushed, and he quickly returned to stuffing the various destroyed into the trash.
Yeah, well, I just want to make sure they're happy, you know? I didn't think I'd get so attached, but here we are.
Husk smiled softly, watching the baby tug on his fur.
Here we are.
The last stop was Angel's own room, which was the worst of all. Blankets were pulled off the bed, pillows scattered, and a bunch of clothes that had been pulled out of the closet and flung around. Makeup and care products were destroyed and poured out everywhere. It's just a mess. Angel let out a long groan.
Hundreds and thousands of dollars down the drain. Some of these were limited editions.
Angel whined, placing his top set of hands over the petrified face of his. Fat Nugget snorted from the corner, nudging a sock across the floor as if to offer some help. Angel laughed, scooping up the pig in one of his arms.
You're a real trooper, Nuggets. Keeping the place in shape, huh?
Husk entered the room behind him, the baby now fast asleep in his arms. He looked around at the mess and smirked.
Looks like we hit the grand finale. What's up on your list?
Angel put on his phone, glancing at the checklist he had.
Well, we cleaned the lobby, kitchen stairs, now this. All that's left is just putting this stuff away and...
Before he could finish, Husk had already started gathering the clothes off the floor, tossing them back in the Angel's closet with an easy, fluid motion.
Way ahead of your legs.
As they worked together, a comfortable silence fell over them. Every now and then, Angel would shoot Husk a playful comment, and Husk would respond with his usual deadpan humor. The more they cleaned, the closer they seemed to get, brushing shoulders here and there, sharing quiet smiles, and occasionally catching each other's eye in a way that made Angel's heart race just a little faster. When they finally finished, it was 8 p.m. Angel fought into his bed with an exaggerated sigh of relief.
Those of us balls, that was exhausting.
Husk, still holding the now peaceful baby, chuckled.
Tell me about it. I didn't sign up for a full-blown workout today.
Angel propped himself up on his elbows, giving Husk a grateful smile.
Thanks, Husky. I seriously couldn't have done this without you. Seriously.
Husk shrugged, but there was a warmth in his eyes.
Yeah, well, I said I would help you out, right?
Angel's grin widened, and he felt that familiar flutter in his chest again.
Yeah, you did. But still, you could have chose not to. I really do appreciate you, Husk. I mean it.
Husk settled himself next to Angel in the bed, his head resting lazily against the headboard. The baby still nestled peaceful in his arms, seems to soften the normally gruff cat's demeanor as he looked down at the tiny tot. A small smile tugged at the corners of his mouth. With one paw, he reached out and gently tickled the baby's stomach. The baby grabbed on the Husk's fingers, causing a soft chuckle to escape from him.
You're definitely gonna keep this place lively, that's for sure.
He looked at the baby with a warm, playful glint in his eye.
But try not to scare your daddy anymore, alright?
Angel let out a long sigh, sitting up beside Husk and leaning against the headboard as well.
Yeah, please don't. I don't need a second death. One was already enough.
He muttered, rubbing his face before dropping his hand to his lap. The baby giggled, kicking its tiny legs and wiggling happily between them, its eyes wide and innocent. Angel glanced over, noticing the softer side of Husk as he interacted with the baby.
You're good with him, you know. I never thought I'd see you like this, Husk. The grumpy cat's got a soft spot at the huh?
Husk's ears twitched, his usual scowl replaced by something gentler. He shrugged, still keeping his eyes on the baby.
Yeah, they ain't so bad when they're not crying and making a mess.
Angel chuckled, reaching out to take the baby from Husk. Their hands brushed for a moment, sending a soft jolt through Angel that made his heart skip a beat. He tried to play it off, gently cradling the baby against his chest as he nuzzled the small bundle.
Well, you're natural.
Angel said, his voice a little softer than usual, as he gazed at Husk out of the corner of his eyes. The moment hung in the air, a quiet sense of intimacy between them as they both watched the baby nestle comfortably into Angel's arms. The brush of their hands left a lingering warmth that neither of them acknowledged, but neither could quite shake either. Husk clearing his throat broke the silence.
So did we get everything on that list of yours done?
Angel, still snuggling the baby, put out his phone with one of his free hands, scrolling through the checklist.
Almost. Everything's checked off except coming up with a name for the little guy. Still got nothing that fits.
He sighed, glancing down at the baby nestled close to him, as if hoping inspiration would hit. Husk leaned back, letting out a low chuckle.
Well, you better figure something out soon, Lex. Can't keep calling the kid a little guy forever.
Angel smiled, a warm feeling spread through him as he nuzzled the baby again, this time feeling a sense of contentment.
Yeah, I know. I'll come up with something perfect for him. They deserve the best, after all.
Husk furrowed his brow slightly, still leaning casually against the headboard, but clearly engaged in the conversation.
Well, why can't you just, I don't know, pick a random name? You don't know the gender or something? I figured you would by now, and seeing as if you bathed in it changing them.
Angel scratched the back of his neck with one of his free hands, his expression softening.
Actually, I kind of decided I'm going to raise him without a gender.
Husk blinked in a mild surprise.
Really? Why? Not that it's stupid or anything.
He said, quickly waving a paw of reassurance.
I'm just curious.
Angel sitting on the bed, pulling the baby closer to him.
I just don't want to force anything on him, you know? Most babies are born and have all this gender stuff forced on them right away, and...
Husk's ears perked up as he cut Angel off, his tone softer.
You don't want to do that because you're trying to be better than how things were for you growing up.
Angel's cheeks flushed slightly as he rubbed the back of his neck again.
Yeah.
He stammered, a little taken aback by Husk's insight.
I know it sounds kind of silly and maybe it doesn't make sense to most people, but
Husk shook his head, his voice firm but kind.
No, not at all, Anthony. I think it's actually really sweet of you. You're thinking about what's best for him, or for him.
Angel blinked, clearly flustered by the praise.
Really?
Yeah,
Husk said, a warm smile creeping onto his face.
you're doing what you think is right, and that's what matters.
Angel couldn't help but smile, his cheeks still a light pink.
Thanks, Whiskers. I appreciate that.
Husk cleared his throat, glancing away for a second before returning focus to Angel.
No problem. If you're having trouble coming up with a name, why not go for something that works for both boys and girls? A name that doesn't need to have a gender.
Angel let out a small sigh.
I thought about that, but I kind of want to give him an Italian name, you know, like mine.
Husk's expression softened even more.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
I get it. You want to connect with your heritage.
exactly.
Angel said, looking down at the baby, his voice growing a little more thoughtful.
But in Italian, everyone's got a gender. Even names. There aren't really any non-binary names.
Husk nodded slowly, not understanding the dilemma.
Oh yeah, I see the problem.
Angel gave a soft, exasperated laugh.
Yeah. So I could pick a non-Italian name or something, but it just wouldn't feel right. I really want them to learn my roots, you know? I'm even planning to teach them both Italian and English when they start talking. It's important to me.
Husk looked at Angel with a newfound respect, impressed by how much thought he put in everything.
Well, Legs, you really thought this through, huh?
Yeah,
Angel murmured, glancing at the baby's tiny face.
but like I said, I got nothing for a name.
They sat in silence for a moment, both lost in thought, when Husk suddenly perked up.
Hey, how about Armani?
Angel's eyes lit up at the suggestion.
Armani?
Husk nodded, his smile returning.
Yeah, it's Italian. It sounds cool. Plus, I think it works for anyone, right?
Angel turned to the baby in his arms, bouncing it gently.
What do you think, baby? Do you like Armani?
The baby let out a tiny giggle, her little hands reaching up to Angel's face, trying to grab his cheek. Angel's heart melted instantly, a huge smile breaking out across his face.
Oh my god,
Angel whispered, his voice filled with awe.
they like it.
Husk chuckled softly, watching the tender moment unfold.
Looks like we got a winner, huh?
Angel snuggled the baby closer, nuzzling his cheek against theirs.
Armani. It's fucking perfect.
Husk grinned, leaning back with a satisfied look.
Told you.
Angel glanced at him, his heart swelling with gratitude and something else he couldn't quite name.
Thanks, Husky. You're really on a helpful roll today.
Husk gave him a lazy, warm smile.
Guess I'm more hopeful than you thought, huh?
Angel laughed softly, his hand brushing against Husk for a brief moment as he adjusted the baby in his arms. The touch lingered, just for a second, sending a quiet warmth between them before either of them could say anything. Angel smiled down at the baby, his eyes soft and filled with affection. He gently cradled the tiny figure in his arms, nuzzling his cheek against theirs.
My little Armani.
He whispered, the words dripping with warmth and pride. The baby cooed softly, their tiny hands reaching up to touch Angel's face again as if sensing the love in his voice. Angel's heart swelled at the sight, his grin widening as he softly rocked Armani in his arms. Husk watched the moment unfold, leaning back against the headboard with a soft chuckle.
Looks like you two are a good fit already.
Angel glanced up at Husk, his expression still glowing.
Yeah, I think we are. I think we are.